will burn. This world will burn.
I wish it would leave me alone. I know he's not real. Dr. Richard said I had schizophrenia. But my mother said the voices are made up.
Listen to me, Lorraine. Your parents have abandoned you. You are alone here.
He started talking when I was 6. My family thought it was funny. They never believed me. They'll come to get me. You'll see.
Is he talking again?
Yeah. You know he never stops.
Focus on my voice. Everything will be all right.
No, it will not.
Everything will be all right.
Do not listen to him.
It's going to be fine.
Don't hide from who you're meant to.
I've known Benjamin as long as the voice has been talking. He's like a brother to me. Without him, I'd already have lost it. Thank you, Ben. I don't know what I'd do without you.
The recreation room is down the hall to the right. You have 3 hours.
All right. When will I get to see my family?
Eventually. Have fun, kid. It's the only time out of your cell you get.
Okay. Thank you. Ben and I walked down the forever narrowing corridor. Tiled walls, tiled floors. However, it was too dark to be a hospital. Too old. I remember the conversation I had with my parents when they dropped me here. How long will I be here?
A while, but they can get rid of the voice, Sugar Plum.
We love you, sweetheart. Ben will keep you company.
They are scared of you.
No, they aren't. The guard placed a hand on my shoulder and led me to the entrance.
If they loved you, they'd be crying.
I glanced back. There was not a tear on their face. We continued through the corridor as it finally turned to the right. What if the voice is right, Ben? He usually is.
He's just saying things to upset you.
He's been wrong before. He knew the car was coming? I walked out of the school gate, and children flooded around me. Like every other day, as the road came into view, he spoke up.
Stop! To the left.
I glanced over to the left to see a bright red car speeding through the street. I saw it in the corner of my eye when I saw Susan step off the curb. They found her head in the passenger's side seat, with a bloody hole in the windshield. The blood left a stain on the street for the next few months.
Pure luck, I'd say.
I don't know, Ben. Maybe he has a point. We turned the corner to see people from all walks of life congregating. There are grown men playing with children's toys and a few girls who seem to be just gossiping a few yards away. We are all in gray outfits, almost like a prison. However, they feel a lot more comfortable than prison outfits would. Benjamin walks off, and I walk up to a guy sitting at a table reading a book. I sit across from him, and he glances up. He's fairly attractive and well-kept. Hello. He smiles at me. A very kind smile. It almost warmed my heart. I'm Lorraine. I extended my hand, and he shook it, although he didn't say a word. Do you talk? With a subtle shake of the head, I understood he couldn't.
He has killed.
Quiet! You don't know that! Note on chest. I looked to his chest. There was a small tag on the breast pocket with his name. James. James, right? It's nice to meet you. He again smiled before glancing over at the window to the left. I looked to see a little potted plant sitting on the ledge, moving with a slightly creepy breeze that filled the room. Is that your plant? He nodded. It's nice. Did you name it? I always called my rosebush in my garden Mr. Prickly. James walks over and turns the plant around to show the name etched on the back. Jeremy, a lost friend. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
$20 says used as bodies.
Quiet! James looked at me with a raised eyebrow. Sorry, it's a voice that talks to me. He looked at me with a reassuring nod and a subtle smile. I felt more sympathy from him than I did my own parents. I simply smiled as I stood. It was nice to meet you, James. He simply smiles and gave a soft wave as I walked away. I then joined Benjamin sitting in a seat across from another boy, not much older than me. Both of them looked out the window. Hi. Do you mind if I have a seat? He eyes me up and down, seemingly studying every detail, before standing up and walking away.
What a nutcase.
Everyone here seems to be.
Hi, it's Lorraine, right? I've just come to check on you.
The nurse smiled at me, but I was too distracted by my train of thought to pay attention. Am I a nutcase?
No, of course not. However, for your safety, I think it's best you don't talk to Tyler. He often thinks the worst of people.
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to cause problems.
It's alright, don't worry. James is a nice guy, though. Talk to him if you need someone to talk to. He's a good listener.
Sure. Although I always have Ben. Nurse Mary raises an eyebrow at me, so I point to Ben, who stands from the couch. Ben waves at the nurse, and Nurse Mary simply nods in return, before turning back to me.
If you need anything, let me know. I'm always looking out for you, dear.
Nurse Mary wanders off, leaving me and Ben to ourselves. Why don't we explore? I'm sure there is plenty to this place.
Sure. You lead.
We begin to explore the never-ending maze of hallways, peeking through the occasional window or keyhole. We turn a corner and find another hallway. However, this one is different, dark, and there is a stream of blood that ran up to my feet.
I'm not going down there.
I wonder what's down there.
Terrible things.
Like what?
You will see.
Don't go, Lorraine. There can't be anything good down there.
I was beyond curious. This corridor felt unnerving, like it shouldn't belong here, yet it did. The darkness drew me in, like a riptide pulls you out to sea. It was out of my control. In the darkness I saw a light. No lights, through windows of doors spanning the hallway. I walk over to one of the doors. I'm slightly too short to see through, so I held onto the door and stood on the edge of my toes to catch a glimpse. I stared into the room and saw a man tied into a surgical chair. A doctor then came around with what looked to be a small power drill in his hand. He then cut. The man was alive and awake. The doctor cut open his stomach before placing a device deep inside. He reaches for a small remote before standing behind a glass wall. I cover my mouth to prevent my screams. I look in the room across the hall. Inside, I see another man, lying slumped in a chair. He is limp and appears lifeless, but his arms continue to jerk up and down. I sit down against the wall and hold myself, unable to process my emotions. I want to cry, I want to scream, but I can't do either.
They're coming for you. The doctors.
I look up to see 4 men walking towards me, all wearing surgical gowns. I know one, Dr. Richard, the man who sent me here.
There you are, Lorraine. We've been looking for you.
Run!
I knew I was in danger, but I couldn't move. I was frozen with fear.
Have you seen the work we do here? We're gonna do a mighty fine number on you.
The men grabbed me. I fought against their grip.
Fight!
I am! They dragged me off through 2 large doors and threw me atop a chair. I kicked one of them in the head as they restrained my arms. Help! Someone!
No one is coming for you. You are here so we can test on you, and nothing more.
I watched Dr. Richard grab a syringe with a mysterious red liquid. He turned to face me, eyes glistening with joy.
This'll bring a smile to my face.
No! Please! I look up to see Ben peeking into the window. Another tear escapes my eye as the syringe slides into my shoulder. My head feels blurry. Whatever they've done to me has messed with my brain. I looked around the room. Ben's not there. Ben? Ben?
You got 3 hours, kid. Make the most of it.
Where's Ben?
Who?
The blonde kid who shares the cell with me.
You don't share a cell with anyone, kid. Go on.
You saw him yesterday.
Get a move on.
I curled my fingers in a fist and continued down the hallway. Eventually I stumbled upon James. He was casually watering one of his plants. Have you seen Ben? He looked over at me and raised an eyebrow. The little blonde boy who was with me yesterday? He showed a face of sympathy. My stress must have been showing. He shook his head but pointed to the nurse I had talked to. I ran to her. Have you seen Ben?
Who?
Blonde boy? You smiled at him yesterday.
I'm afraid I haven't, but I'll let you know if I find him.
Okay. Thanks. I ran off down the corridors, once again navigating the seemingly endless hallways. I'd become lost. I had no clue where I was, until I found myself staring once again at the dark void. However, I didn't run into it. There was something there.
He's gone, you know.
Everyone tells me he was never real.
They disposed of him. But he was real to you, just as much as me.
I slowly stepped toward the darkness. The shadow of a man emerged, taller than me, with a complexion like a black nexus. Though I could see through his body, his bright white grin and eyes shone through my soul.
Don't be scared. It's only me.
I wish they had taken you. I hate you. You've done nothing for me.
Lies. I have saved your life. Multiple times, in fact. What did that Ben character ever do for you? He landed you in this cage, like a diseased animal. If you had listened to me all these years, we wouldn't be in here. They're coming. Again. Do you really want to be alone?
No.
Come here, you little shit. Dr. Richard wants you.
No. No!
This place will burn to the ground.
Don't make me drag you by the ankle, you little shit.
Cut them. Stride through their pools of blood with your head held high, knowing they got everything they deserved. Make sure they know.
I can see why your parents left a fuck up like you here.
I pounce on the guard, placing my thumbs on his eyeballs. They explode with a satisfying pop. Their time had come. Blood life, I have been ignoring the voice in my head, but finally we are speaking the same language. Violence.
Episode 1, Lorraine. Created and directed by Schmeltz, written by Matthew Davison, with sound effects by Ashlyn, Toria, and music and editing by Woodstock. Starring Robin Regaldo as Lorraine, Gisette Renari as the voice and Benjamin, Brandi Jones as Nurse Mary and Lorraine's mother, John Honahue as the guard and Lorraine's father, and Woodstock as Dr. Richard. Please visit our website for more information and future episodes, and consider supporting us by sharing this podcast, or, for the price of a cup of coffee, join our Patreon to watch our fortnightly behind-the-scenes show and much, much more.
Oh, that's great.
You always laugh at those commercials.
Hello? Anyone there? Lorraine?
Dad,
Honey? What are you doing here?
it burnt to the ground. You left me there. You were never going to come for me.
Honey, that's just the voice talking. Call Dr. Richard.
Dr. Richard told me the truth before I pulled out his intestines.
Before you what?
Stay back, sweetheart. We're gonna get you some help.
You're liars!
Lorraine, no!
Michael! Lorraine, please. You're right. We were going to leave you there, but it was for your own good.